So my husband has been on a SHBG fixer. SHBG, I want you to explain what that is, but this is his testosterone's high. It's at 800. But his free testosterone was low because his SHBG from stress and what everyone else is going through and age and all that was high. And that SHBG was causing fat gain and muscle loss. So he has been on that. I think he's on bottle number 3 now, and there's been a shift. And he does get body scans done where it measures not just because we can't just look at the scale. That means nothing.
Right.
He looks at his muscle mass and his fat mass, and there's been a shift. And for me personally, for women need that testosterone. Yep. I've been on your hormone fixer and your Thyroid-Fixer T2 for months now, and I love them because testosterone feels good and it helps with your thyroid health, like we talked about. But why don't you touch on what the SHBG fixer is, who is it for, and why is it important? And then we'll go to the other 2 as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin. And we actually changed the name of the product to Bedroom Fixer because nobody knew what SHBG was. So it's now Bedroom Fixer, formerly known as SHBG Fixer. The reason why we call it Bedroom Fixer is because of the testosterone libido component. When your SHBG is high, and this is a marker that you all should be getting tested, every single one of you, male, female, don't care, get this tested. Because if that is high, and the optimal range is 60 to 80, so you might not even get flagged high if you're coming in at 100, at 110, it depends on the lab value range, but 60 to 80 is optimal. Anything above that, I want you to think of SHBG as a little train. And your testosterone, your T3, your estradiol jump on that train. And that train is great because it delivers those hormones to the cells that need it. The problem is if there's too much SHBG, it's sticky. And it holds that testosterone on the train, doesn't let it off. And it holds that estradiol and it holds that T3 on the train, doesn't let it off. And so now, just like your husband, you might have a beautiful total testosterone, but the free unbound testosterone, just like your free T3, the unbound active thyroid hormone, it's on the train. It can't do its job. We need to lower SHBG so that it's just sticky enough to deliver the hormones, but it's not so sticky that it attaches those hormones and doesn't let them go. And then once we lower that SHBG, now we can see both male and female, that free testosterone starts to come up, your free T3 comes up, and your body just works so much better. Now, the thing with SHBG is sometimes it's a push-pull, meaning I'll give you myself as an example. I am taking T3. I am taking testosterone. T3 and testosterone both raise SHBG. Now, the other things that raise SHBG would be a low protein diet, over exercising, even too low of a carbohydrate diet. So even if you're doing something like keto or carnivore and you are so low in carbs every single day and you never break from that, that super low insulin, that super low carbohydrate intake can also bump up SHBG. So you're doing all of these things that, you know, your body wants. Like, I'm not going to give up my T3. I'm not going to give up my testosterone. But what I'm going to do is take things like SHBG Fixer to lower it. So it kind of becomes a push-pull where my T3 and testosterone will push it up. The SHBG Fixer will push it down. And I'm staying, maybe I'm still a little bit too high, but I don't feel it. I feel like I am getting the effects of my T3 and my testosterone hormone. So I'm not worried about pushing it too low, but that's one important thing for people to understand. It's kind of a push-pull. So even if your husband gets to a point where down the road we have to do TRT with him, testosterone replacement therapy, he'll be taking that testosterone and then he'll be taking SHBG Fixer, and it'll kind of do this up and down, back and forth, push-pull, but that's okay. He's still going to get the benefits of it.
Awesome. And the hormone fixer. So this helps with build testosterone. Is this for almost everybody?
Pretty much almost everybody. It's mainly for women. I designed it mainly for women because that's what I see so much in my practice is women coming in with very, very low testosterone, and nobody pays attention to them. Even if the doctors or their OBGYN tests it, if they're lucky enough to get it tested, they still, as long as it falls into that standard lab value range, just like thyroid, right? They're normal, quote unquote. So I really wanted to develop this for women with low testosterone, low libido. You get the benefit of increased growth hormone, balanced insulin, balanced cortisol. So there's so many different things in Hormone Fixer that are beneficial. Men can take it, but when they take it, I like to pair it up with like a Fedosia agrestis. That's really great for bumping up testosterone naturally. Turkesterone is really good for bumping up testosterone naturally. So I like to pair up Hormone Fixer with something else for the guys.
Okay, I love it, you guys. I've noticed a big difference in me. It's not going to turn you into a man. One thing that people don't understand is that women have more testosterone than estrogen. They just don't have as much as men do. We need it. It's the missing. And then I wanted to, you mentioned blood tests. SHBG is not tested. It's not on the male or female complete panel. You have to pay extra for it. So make sure you are asking your doctor to test that when you go in for your blood test. And Thyroid-Fixer. This is T2. No one talks about T2, tyrosine and 2 molecules of iodine. But this is an amazing supplement. I still use it with my acceleridine, with my accelerated thyroid. And I feel like my thyroid is as optimal as it's ever been.
It's the perfect stack. It's the perfect stack because your iodine is just essential for every single person. I don't care who you are. If you breathe, you need accelerated, right? And then when you pair on your accelerated thyroid, my T2 Thyroid-Fixer, that is like the perfect thyroid stack. And I would even argue, kind of going back and retracting a little bit about what I said earlier, I would even argue that you could get optimized on that stack without thyroid hormone replacement. And it's very, very rare that you will ever hear me say that. But that stack is so good. And it's, I use the term powerful, not in that all of a sudden you're going to take it and you're going to go, oh my gosh, I'm hyper. No, but it's powerful in the effects it has on your body. So T2 will increase your basal metabolic rate. It will improve mitochondrial function. It works at the mitochondrial level. So there are no thyromimetic effects, meaning it's not going to change your labs to make you look like you're hyper. It's not going to burn muscle tissue. It's only going to burn fat. It's not going to cause heart palpitations. It has no effect on the cardiovascular system whatsoever. Thyroid hormone replacement does. I mean, we want to use it if you need it. It's vital. It's wonderful, but T3 can increase your heart rate. It can cause heart palpitations. It can burn muscle and fat at the same time, whereas T2 does none of that. So it's a really nice, easy, gentle way to improve your metabolism. Then your accelerated thyroid comes in and just does all the things that it does, which I can't wait to have you on my podcast to talk about that and really, really dive into it. But in my opinion, it's just the perfect stack.
And soon it's going to be the accelerated thyroid pack on my site, the 3 supplements together, because it truly is healing the thyroid, detoxing the thyroid, but giving you that extra layer of fat burning, no jitters, just that even keel. And you guys, I take the Hormone Fixer and the Thyroid-Fixer daily. I won't go without them. I take them on my vacation, wherever. And it got me through the holidays, all of the supplements that we're talking about. Why? Because your thyroid is your master endocrine gland. Without it working, your immune system suffers, your gut suffers, you're constipated, you have brain fog, you have fatigue, you have depression. And like I mentioned, it also affects, as Amie mentioned, it affects your hormone profile. Your thyroid affects your testosterone, your estrogen, your progesterone. We didn't even dive into that part.